It's kind of a Jersey Shore kind of moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I think after 107 minutes, the longest press conference I can remember. I mean, I think that people jumped in the shower, they changed clothes, they changed jobs in between Governor Christie's explanation of what happened with Bridgegate.
You're right about changing jobs.
Yeah.
Some people got fired.
People.
Yeah, and I mean, after a day of a lot of talk about it, Christie really indicated to many what leadership looked like after facing a crisis. Those on his staff coming under fire and literally then being fired by him after the George Washington Bridge, one of the busiest in the United States, had lanes shut down, resulting in the death of a 91-year-old woman and delays. Christie got up there and was accountable. Take a listen.
I come out here today to apologize to the people of New Jersey. I am embarrassed and humiliated by the conduct of some of the people on my team. I've taken the following action as a result. This morning, I've terminated the employment of Bridget Kelly, effective immediately. I've terminated her employment because she lied to me. Ultimately, I am responsible for what happens under my watch.
So he faced accusations, right?
Yeah.
That this was scandalous, that his staff actually was involved, that he had a part in it, and he actually came out and discussed that his staff had betrayed him.
Well, he called about a month or two ago, he called his entire staff in and said, okay, let's talk about this bridge thing because I'm starting to hear things. And anybody here involved? He took 1 hour. Nobody said they were involved, and these emails started popping up. Next thing you know, he did what crisis managers tell you to do. Assess the problem, then go out there and do something about it. He went out, he apologized to the people in New Jersey, the people involved, and then he announced that he had fired people. This is a little different than what the President of the United States has done in the past. For instance, we're going to play two instances. One involves Hillary Clinton, and the other is going to mention Susan Rice. What did Susan Rice do after she went out and lied on television on 5 different networks? She got promoted. Remember this stuff?
Put simply, Susan exemplifies the finest tradition of American diplomacy and leadership.
The fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
So you have people in denial, people not adding it up to it, people not taking responsibility, and if they do, it's almost phony responsibility, like, ultimately, I'm responsible, but I had no idea what was happening. Governor Christie is in the clear and more impressive today, in my humble estimation, if everything he said is true. If an email pops up showing that he gave the order or knew about it, it's over. There's no, oh, I guess he'll only be governor. It is totally over. But the brilliant way he took all those questions and was entertaining and insightful and off the cuff for that period of time shows his unbelievable talent, kept his temper in check, was contrite, but yet not pathetic. No one said, oh, I feel so bad for this guy. No, he still had his pride. He said he was hurt, embarrassed. He apologized, or used the word apology or apologize 24 separate times. Extremely impressive. And then going over to Fort Lee, New Jersey at 4 o'clock, not easy, especially with the traffic.
Right. He choppered.
Oh, okay. He didn't have a car? I didn't know he choppered.
He choppered because apparently there's a lot of traffic in that area.
Right. I had no idea. I heard the lanes go back up and he put the cones down. But, you know, he went over and then he took a risk because the Democratic mayor was mad at him the day before. And this time he said, listen, I take a guy at his word. They meet for 45 minutes, do a photo op, and he's out of there.
Well, right, and there was a reporter, actually, that had mentioned that the mayor of Fort Lee might not want to even see him, right? So he said, even if he doesn't, I'm going to go there. It is my duty. It is the right thing to do to walk in and apologize to him and the people of Fort Lee. And apparently it was, quote, productive by
their buddies there. He says he couldn't pick him out of a lineup prior to this incident.
Now, keep in mind, Brian, you're absolutely right. If something else comes out, that's going to be bad, because he was emphatic yesterday. He said, look, I didn't know anything about it. These people told me lies, and they're gone. But the Department of Justice under Eric Holder is investigating whether or not any federal laws were broken. Of course, they don't have time to investigate that Benghazi thing, and I'm sure they're working real hard on the IRS thing. But
and Fast and Furious. No.
Oh, all that stuff. They're busy at the Department of Justice. But you had mentioned there's a story that you see a lot on the political left and on the blogs I'm referring to, and that is about this woman, a 91-year-old woman from Fort Lee, who apparently did die that day of the first traffic backup. Her name, Florence Geneva. She died. The response time was 7 minutes. Usually it's about 3 or 4 minutes. But her family has come out and said they don't blame this on the traffic jam. In fact, her son-in-law came out yesterday and said she was already passed when they showed up. Right. So, you know, when people say, look, Chris Christie's people had a big traffic jam and somebody died, somebody did die, but it was unrelated to the traffic jam, according to the family.
Now, you don't have to wait till Sundays anymore for George Will to weigh in. He's at Fox, so immediately his instant analysis, worthy of a listen. Is the governor of New Jersey still a front runner to get the nomination for a Republican president? Let's listen.
This serves him in 3 ways, however. It gave him a chance to look like what a president is, an executive. He actually acted and made decisions. Second, every campaign has a crisis sooner or later. Mr. Obama had the Reverend Wright crisis right in the middle of his campaign. So this gives him a sense of how to handle this. And third, it gives him a real taste of the scrutiny that comes with presidential politics.
See, now, what President Obama would have done, according to the past history with this administration, is rather than fire somebody, he would have just have allowed them to retire.
Or promote, or promote them, you know.
Right. Although I thought one of President Obama's finest moments with the whole race thing, when he came up and gave that race speech, it seemed off the cuff and through the heart. Said, wow, that was one of the things where I thought this guy, this senator from Illinois might be really special.
Sure.
I thought that was one of his great moments because he had a crisis, but it didn't go well from there. What also stands out for me, as far as I could tell, I might be wrong, but when I went to bed last night, and I can't get into detail about what I was wearing, but I will say this.
Did anybody ask? Was anybody asking?
I know what you're thinking. The only thing I saw was Senator Ayotte had tweeted out support. I didn't see a lot of Republicans giving support, and considering he's running the RGA, I was a little shocked by that. A lot of people, besides John Boehner weighing in, say he's still a legitimate contender. I didn't see a lot of Republicans running to his side, which lets me believe that they're still ticked off about the Obama hug during the Romney election.
Post-hurricane, you're saying. There was an embrace there. I mean, I think for the most part, most hardcore conservatives maybe have gotten over that. But there's competition, right? There are people that want to be president. There are people that wanted to be president. I'm sure there's emotion there. I think, though, everyone went to bed, to your point, feeling a little bit more satisfied that there was a touch of accountability and that at least we got to see it played before us as Americans, to see what that means, to hear someone say, I am sorry, not I'm sorry this happened because of something else, and no, I can control what everyone does underneath me, but I actually still have to take responsibility. That, to me, I went to bed feeling pretty satisfied after hearing something
Did you
like
watch
that.
network television? Because we could do a little comparison of how the network covered this as compared to other crises.
Sure.
Let's take a look. Now, this is the Bridgegate thing, right? Since Wednesday night, NBC had 6 reports. They had 14 minutes on it. CBS had 12 minutes. And as you can see, ABC had 7 minutes. Okay, that's since Wednesday night. Remember the IRS targeting conservatives? Over the last 6 months, this is Orwellian at its best and worst. The IRS scandal. NBC has devoted 5 seconds to it.
A whole 5 seconds?
All 5 seconds, where they updated the IRS story. CBS, 1 minute and 41 seconds. And ABC, 22 seconds. Pretty extraordinary when
From
you
a New Jersey governor with a bridge story that you could say is not a national story, although he's a national personality, to an IRS scandal that affects almost everyone in the country.
You know what? It does look to some on the right as if the mainstream media, once again, trying to take out Chris Christie so he can't run for president.
Can I just say this? Special thanks to the world for giving us a lot to talk about this week.
Really?
Oh, my goodness. To get us, I'd like to thank the country and the planet.
You
got Gates, Christie, and...
we talked about Gates. The other channels aren't talking about Gates.
Yeah,
and we're going to talk about
accountability and thankfulness. What more can you ask for?
Maybe a toss.
Maybe a toss to Heather now.
How do you cover anything in 5 seconds or 22 seconds?
How do you do that?
I mean, really, let's go over to Heather now. I mean, that's 5 seconds right there.
But it was a quality 5 seconds.
Wow.
Can you even say covered at that point?
No, I don't think so.
They might have just said IRS, and that would count.
A lot to talk about this morning, obviously. Good morning to you all. Hope you're off to a great day.